Guys, iPadOS 26 is here. It's completely changing what your iPad is capable of. From everyday tasks to advanced multitasking, iPadOS 26 is gearing up to be the most significant change to come to the iPad since iPadOS in 2019. Now, this update gives us the pause to ask, what's a computer? Well, in this video, I'm showing you my iPadOS 26 setup, from how I'm using all the new features to how my iPad is set up to get the most out of iPadOS 26, including my home screens, apps, shortcuts, and the accessories I rely on every day. And along the way, you'll see what makes the iPad feel even more Mac-like than ever, and where it falls short. Let's get started. First, we are going to start with a space that you see dozens of times per day, and this is the lock and home screen. Apple's brand new liquid glass design gives everything a modern, fluid feel, from the notifications to the widgets and the wallpapers. It's like they're fused into the glass itself that makes the iPad such a joy to use. There are several new additions to the lock and home screen, starting with the adjustable clock. Now, what's nice here is that the resizable clock widget fills to expand much of the iPad screen, no matter which size iPad that you have. Once you are editing your lock screen, to enable it, pull down on the drag bars on either side to resize it. Now, it is limited to the first clock font, so if you end up choosing a different clock font, it'll go back to its normal size. Second, it's the widget orientation on the lock screen. Now, much like the home screen was updated last year, the lock screen can have different widget orientations depending on the orientation, and they can actually even be different widgets completely. Now, for me, I like the big clock, and I cannot lie, I have no widgets in landscape, but I do have widgets in portrait mode. Now, there's this new feature called 3D wallpaper. It's nice, but it's not for me. It does make the picture pop on your wallpaper picture pop, though I prefer a much cleaner look. Over to the home screen, I am running a single home screen with my most used apps front and center, plus a few of my favorite widgets along the top row. If I have an app that I rely on is not front and center, I just end up forgetting about it. So I make sure that everything that I'm going to use, every app that's on my home screen, are things that I want to use. I've built my entire home screen around how I actually use the iPad. And if you want to treat the iPad like a computer replacement, or you just want to get the most out of it, I'd absolutely recommend doing the same. New this year, the dock has been updated to support up to 22 apps in the bottom dock, allowing you a lot of flexibility to place all of your favorite apps there and then simply use it as a launch bar for your apps when you need them. But what's great is that the home screen isn't even getting the biggest change this year. Multitasking and windowing are going to completely reshape how you use the iPad. The days of fixed split view layouts are completely gone, allowing you to finally run apps in proper, resizable windows. Apple's calling this window mode, and it lives alongside Stage Manager, which is still there, but I think that you'll find more use from this new windowed mode. You can enable it very easily either in the multitasking sections or by going into Control Center and long pressing on the brand new Control Center toggle. This entirely changed how I use the iPad, really because the flexibility that I'm getting inside window sizes as well as the number of windows that are open. I can run Mail, Safari, Notes, really up to 12 windows on the iPad Pro in any size, just like the MacBook. And if you want to add a keyboard and the trackpad, the line between the iPad and the Mac get much blurrier. Now, that's exactly why I put together my iPadOS 26 Quick Start Guide. It's a free tool for you to download, and it helps you get the most from your iPad and iPadOS 26 in minutes, not hours. Grab your free copy. It's linked down in the video description. You don't want to miss it. Now, depending on which iPad that you have, you can keep up to 12 windows open at any one time, and you can see all the open windows very easily. You swipe up with 4 fingers, either on the glass or on the trackpad, and it's going to give you the expose view of all the apps open that you have in this windowed view. Now, you'll also notice that the Mac's stoplight buttons are here as well. They're here for the party. This is going to enable you to turn on predetermined window sizes and configurations. They're easily accessible. You can use your cursor, your finger, or the Apple Pencil. And as you get closer to it with your Apple Pencil or with the cursor, you see them kind of enlarge in size. So you don't need to be worried about them disappearing or not actually hitting the touch target. It's actually kind of cool the way that Apple implemented it. Now, first pro tip for you, most of the window configurations will be mapped to keyboard shortcuts. So if you want to have 2 apps open side by side, let's say Safari and Notes, you can hit Control, Shift, the globe key, and either the right or left arrow key, and it will take those windows automatically and swap them into either the left or right position, depending on how you want to do it. You can even have them tiled upper and lower by hitting the up and down arrow key. This gives you a lot of flexibility to how you lay out your windows, and it's just a keyboard shortcut away. Now, this is probably not a deal breaker for many of you out there, but for creators, productivity enthusiasts, anyone just simply really trying to maximize the iPad's hardware and software, windowing and multitasking on the iPad still falls short since the iPad is limited to one external display. It's mid-no cap. Now, honestly, I don't even know what that means, but that's how my 9-year-old described it to me, so we'll leave it at that. To push the Mac vibe even further, Apple's adding one of the most iconic Mac features, allowing controls to be centralized and easily within reach. The addition of a system-wide menu bar makes the iPad feel more like a traditional computer without losing its touch-first design. Now, it quickly became one of my favorite additions. It feels like Apple finally admitting, you know what guys, the iPad, it can really do more. So let's talk about how iPadOS 26 fits into my everyday workflow. The Files app has been supercharged. It's got colored folders, emojis, better sorting, and you can even have folders from iCloud or any one of your other shared folders, shared services, pinned directly in your dock. Now, if you want to go deeper on all the changes coming to Files, make sure that you're subscribed because I've got a full breakdown coming soon. Now, in terms of other apps I'm using, because I'm in the US, Safari is still my default app. No matter which app that you use, it's a browser. It's always going to run on WebKit here in the US. We're not as fortunate as the folks that are other parts of the world. Apple's Photos app is still my go-to for my quick edits and my central point of my library. I do use Lightroom for other work related to the channel and for Instagram. I plan all of my ideas, all of my task management to the business in Notion, contracts, feedback, all that other good stuff. Personal task management is going inside of TickTick, which is my productivity manager of choice. Now, iPadOS 26 doesn't really reinvent these apps, at least they haven't been reinvented yet because iPadOS 26 is not out yet, but multitasking and the new menu bar make them feel much easier to use in real-world workflows. Now, that said, many common party apps, like you would expect to, maybe desktop class, still run a lighter version than their desktop counterparts, but for now, it is a gap that keeps the iPad from becoming a full Mac replacement for some of us. But that hasn't stopped Apple from porting some of the apps from the iPhone to the iPad this year, including the phone app, because using your iPad as a phone completely makes sense. The Journal app, if you want to use that with your Apple Pencil and write out, your thoughts and emotions, absolutely great idea. And Preview for Mac-style PDF editing. Individually, they are not massive, but together they close the gap that once made the iPad feel like a secondary device. But out of the box, it now feels much more complete. Next is shortcuts, and this is where the iPad goes from useful to personal, because I have this one shortcut that delivers like UPS trucks. So this is my action menu shortcut, and it's in the dock, always available, and when you push it, you are presented with several different shortcuts to pick from. This is kind of like the action button on the iPhone. Now I can open up my password manager, split screen two pre-selected apps like Notes and Safari, start a voice chat with ChatGPT, even change my focus mode or open up a file or folder in Files. It is very handy, infinitely customizable, and it doesn't just save time, it makes the iPad feel like it's tailored for me. Now, I want to know how you are using shortcuts on your iPad. Let me know down in the comments below, guys. But none of this really matters without the right accessories, and here's what I'm using day to day with my iPad Pro. I got the Magic Keyboard, which is my go-to for writing, surfing, or really just kind of managing life in general. I got the Apple Pencil for doodling, marking up documents inside of Preview, as well as this magnetic iPad stand that has a desk clamp on it for when I want to use my iPad as a second screen. I think it's from Kuchu or Kiksu. I'll put it down in the description along with everything else that I talk about it, but it is magnetic and it does charge my iPad. And last but not least, I got the MOF Dynamic Folio for protection and maximum versatility for every other scenario. So that is my iPadOS 26 setup, from personalization and multitasking to the apps I use on a daily basis. Now listen, iPadOS 26 gets the iPad closer to replacing your Mac than ever before. And for many of you folks out there, the iPad is perfectly capable of handling your daily computing needs. For some of you, it just won't work, and that's okay. It's not meant to be a wholesale replacement for everyone. Now, I want to hear from you. Is the iPad finally ready for prime time, and are you ready to ditch your Mac, or is the iPad still just a sidekick? Drop your take down in the comments below. I'll be reading and replying to your comments. And if you are exploring Apple's other big updates, check out the playlist I have right here for iOS 26 and other iPad-related content. I've also got a full breakdown of Files app coming, as well as that iPadOS 26 deep dive. My name is Mike, and I'm out of here, folks.